When you hear the words keto diet, what comes to your mind? For some people, it sounds like a miracle. For others, it sounds like a fad. For some, it brings memories of bacon, butter, and avocado piled on a plate. For others, it brings confusion, maybe even frustration, because they tried it once and couldn't make it work. But what if I told you that the keto diet is not just about food, not just about macros, not just about tracking carbs and fat? What if I told you it's a story about transformation, about discipline, about rewiring not only your body, but also your mind, because that's what makes it powerful. That's why it continues to spread like wildfire across the world, and that's why we're still talking about it today. Let me take you back for a moment, before the hashtags, before the Instagram reels, before the flood of keto, friendly snacks and cookbooks filled with cauliflower crust pizza and sugar-free desserts. The ketogenic diet wasn't born out of trendy culture. It started decades ago, even close to a century ago, as a therapeutic intervention for epilepsy. Doctors discovered that when the body was starved of carbohydrates, when it was forced to burn fat for energy, it produced ketones, and those ketones had an incredible effect on brain activity. Children who suffered from seizures, who didn't respond to medication, suddenly found relief. Imagine the relief of a parent who sees their child suffering lessen because of a dietary shift. That was the beginning, not a trend, not a fad, but a medical breakthrough. Fast forward to today, and the keto diet has transcended that original purpose. It's now talked about in gyms, kitchens, offices, podcasts, everywhere you look. Why? Because at its core, it represents something humans crave: results. Results in weight loss, in energy, in mental clarity, in performance. Think about it. For years, people were told fat is the enemy, avoid butter, avoid bacon, avoid cheese, eat low, fat everything, fill your shelves with cereals, with pasta, with low-fat yogurts loaded with sugar. And what happened? Obesity skyrocketed, diabetes spread like wildfire, energy levels plummeted, and people felt trapped in their own bodies. Then came keto, turning the script upside down. Eat fat, burn fat. Cut carbs, thrive on ketones. It almost sounded rebellious. It challenged decades of dietary dogma, and that's one reason it went viral. People don't just want rules, they want results, and they want to break free from lies that held them back. But let's go deeper, because this isn't just about macros. The keto diet is about psychology too. Imagine you've tried diet after diet. You've counted calories, you've eaten rabbit food, you've starved yourself, you've tried juice cleanses, you've bought expensive powders and shakes. And then someone tells you, what if you could eat foods you actually enjoy: eggs, steak, cheese, avocado, salmon, and still lose weight? What if you didn't have to feel hungry all the time? What if your brain felt sharper, your energy more stable, because you weren't on the roller coaster of sugar highs and crashes? That's more than a diet, that's hope, and hope spreads faster than any marketing campaign ever could. Now let's get real. Keto isn't always easy. The first week, people talk about the keto flu. Your body is detoxing from carbs, it's crying out for sugar, the way an addict craves a fix. You feel sluggish, maybe irritable. And that's when most people quit. But here's the thing. If you push through, if you stay disciplined, your body adapts. Suddenly, the fog lifts. Suddenly, you wake up and feel different. You realize your hunger isn't controlling you anymore. You're not reaching for snacks every 2 hours. Your body is running on fat like a hybrid engine that switched from cheap fuel to premium. That's empowerment, and when someone feels empowered, they can't help but talk about it, share it, spread it. That's why you hear so many success stories. I want you to picture this. A person steps on the scale after years of frustration. They've tried every diet, they've joined gyms, they've bought gadgets, they've felt like failures. And then, a few months into keto, they step on the scale and see not just numbers dropping, but a reflection in the mirror that looks more alive. They post their before and after photo online. The likes pour in. The comments say, "How did you do it?" And they say, "Keto, that's viral power, that's transformation that inspires others." But let's not oversimplify. Keto isn't a magic pill. You can't just eat unlimited bacon and expect miracles. It requires discipline, education, and balance. Too many people think it's just about cutting carbs, but it's also about quality, real food, whole food, nutrient-dense food. Yes, fat fuels you, but the type of fat matters. Avocados, olive oil, grass-fed butter, these are not the same as greasy fast food fries. The people who thrive on keto understand that it's not about drowning your plate in processed meat, but about aligning your body with foods that fuel performance and longevity. And let's not forget the mental side. When you commit to keto, you're not just changing what you eat. You're changing how you think. You start questioning labels. You start asking, why does this healthy granola bar have 25 grams of sugar? Why does this drink marketed as fitness fuel spike my insulin? Why did I believe for so long that eating a bowl of pasta was better than eating a steak with broccoli drenched in butter? Keto forces you to become conscious. Conscious of your choices, conscious of the industry around you, conscious of how your body responds. That's why people who succeed with keto often become evangelists. It's not just food, it's awakening. And let me tell you something else. The keto diet is not just about weight loss. It's about energy. Imagine waking up without needing 3 cups of coffee just to feel alive. Imagine working through the afternoon without that 3 p.m. crash that leaves you desperate for a snack. Imagine going to the gym and realizing you can push harder longer because your body has endless reserves of fat to burn. Imagine studying, working, creating, and realizing your mind feels sharper, clearer, more focused. That's what running on ketones feels like. It's not hype, it's biology. Your brain loves ketones. Your mitochondria thrive on them, and when your cells are happy, you feel it in every part of your life. Now, let's look around us. The modern world is flooded with carbs. Everywhere you look, it's bread, pasta, cereal, soda, candy, donuts, bagels, cookies, chips. Walk into any gas station, any supermarket, and 90% of what you see is sugar in disguise. We've normalized it. We've accepted that breakfast should be pancakes or cereal, that lunch should be sandwiches or pizza, that dinner should be pasta with breadsticks on the side, and we wonder why we feel exhausted, overweight, sick. Keto is like a rebellion against that culture. It's standing up and saying, I will not let sugar control my life anymore. I will not let processed food dictate my health. I choose fat. I choose fuel. I choose freedom. But when we talk about freedom, we need to talk about what it feels like to actually take control of your body. Think about how many people live as prisoners to their cravings. How many people can't walk past a bakery without feeling pulled inside by the smell of fresh bread or glazed donuts? How many people feel powerless at night when the bag of chips calls their name from the kitchen? That's not freedom. That's addiction dressed up as normal. And when someone finally experiences keto, when they finally break free from that cycle, it feels like liberation. They discover that hunger no longer controls them, that sugar no longer owns them, that they can say no and mean it. And once you've tasted freedom, you never want to go back to chains. I want you to imagine a world where your energy is steady all day long, where you don't have to plan your schedule around snacks, where your body feels light, strong, and capable. Imagine walking into a social gathering, and instead of being nervous about the buffet table, you're confident because you know your body is fueled by fat, not by the roller coaster of carbs. That's the world keto opens up. It's not about restriction, it's about empowerment, and empowerment is contagious, of course. The critics will tell you keto is unsustainable. They'll say you can't live without carbs, that it's too restrictive, that it's dangerous. But let's be honest, what's truly unsustainable is living with low energy, with chronic inflammation, with obesity, with insulin resistance, with fatigue that steals your joy. What's dangerous is normalizing sickness as if it's inevitable. What's restrictive is living in a body that doesn't allow you to enjoy life. Keto is not restriction, it's strategy. It's not punishment, it's freedom. But here's the thing, we can't talk about keto without talking about discipline. Because yes, it requires effort. Yes, it requires planning. Yes, it means saying no to certain foods. And in today's world, where instant gratification is worshipped, that discipline stands out. It sets you apart. It's a reminder that you are stronger than your cravings, stronger than the marketing campaigns designed to keep you hooked, stronger than the easy way out. That discipline doesn't just reshape your body, it reshapes your character. It teaches you patience, resilience, and focus, and those qualities carry over into every part of your life. Think about it. When someone succeeds with keto, they don't just lose weight, they gain confidence. They realize they can commit to something hard and win, and once you prove to yourself that you can win in one area, you start believing you can win in others. Suddenly, the person who felt stuck at work has the courage to pursue a new opportunity. The parent who felt too tired to play with their kids now has the energy to run around in the backyard. The entrepreneur who felt mentally foggy now has the clarity to create, innovate, and lead. Keto becomes more than a diet. It becomes a catalyst for transformation. But let's address another truth. Keto is not one size fits all. For some, it's life-changing. For others, it's a stepping stone. Some people thrive in deep ketosis, tracking macros, measuring ketones, experimenting with fasting. Others simply reduce carbs, increase healthy fats, and find balance. That's the beauty of it. It's adaptable, it's flexible, it's not about perfection, it's about progress, and progress looks different for everyone. What fascinates me most about keto is how it makes people rethink what's possible. For decades, we've been told weight loss is about eating less and exercising more, about endless cardio and bland salads, about fighting hunger and willpower. And yet, millions of people failed under that model. Then comes keto, saying, what if the problem isn't you? What if the problem is the system? What if the foods you were told were healthy were actually keeping you sick? What if by flipping the switch, by shifting from glucose to ketones, you could unlock your body's natural potential? That message is radical, it's disruptive, and it spreads because it resonates with people's lived experience. They've tried the old way and failed. They try keto, and for the first time they succeed. That success is what makes the message unstoppable, and let's not ignore the cultural impact. Keto has built communities. Online forums, Facebook groups, YouTube channels, TikTok pages, millions of people connecting, sharing recipes, posting transformations, encouraging each other. In a world that often feels divided, keto has created tribes united by the pursuit of better health. People who would have never met in real life are cheering each other on, celebrating milestones, lifting each other up when the journey gets tough. That sense of community adds fuel to the fire. Because when you're not alone, when you know others are walking the same path, you're more likely to keep going. But with popularity comes noise. Every company wants to cash in. Suddenly you see keto-friendly labels slapped on everything from candy bars to frozen meals. Some are legitimate, others are scams, and that's why education matters. Keto is not about buying products, it's not about chasing shortcuts. It's about understanding your body, listening to your signals, and fueling yourself with real, nourishing food. Yes, convenience products can help, but they are not the foundation. The foundation is whole food, discipline, and knowledge. Think of the human body as a machine designed for survival. For most of human history, carbs were not abundant. People hunted, they gathered, they went through periods of feast and famine, their bodies adapted by burning fat. Ketosis wasn't a diet, it was survival. Only in the modern world of endless supermarkets and 24/7 drive-thrus did ketosis become rare. Keto simply reconnects us with how our bodies were designed to function. It strips away the excess, the artificial, the addictive, and takes us back to the basics. That's why it feels so natural once you adapt. You're not hacking your body, you're aligning with it. Now let me ask you, what happens when people align with their bodies? They stop fighting themselves, they stop blaming themselves, they start trusting themselves. They realize they are not broken, they were just misinformed. That realization changes everything. It turns shame into confidence, frustration into action, despair into hope. And hope is powerful, hope is contagious. Hope is unstoppable. So when we talk about keto going viral, it's not just about weight loss before and after photos. It's about hope spreading from one person to another. It's about someone saying, if it worked for me, maybe it can work for you. It's about the ripple effect. One person in a family starts keto, and suddenly the whole household starts eating differently. One coworker brings their keto lunch, and suddenly 3 others are asking questions. One friend loses 50 pounds, and suddenly their circle of friends is inspired. That's not a trend, that's a movement, and every movement faces resistance. Keto threatens industries, the sugar industry, the processed food industry, the pharmaceutical industry. They don't want people to stop needing their products. They don't want people to realize that food is medicine, that lifestyle is medicine, that you have more power than you've been led to believe. But movements can't be stopped when they're fueled by truth. And the truth is simple. Your body was designed to thrive on real food, to burn fat as fuel, to feel energized and alive without being chained to constant carb consumption. That truth resonates because it's undeniable once you experience it. That's why the keto diet isn't fading away like some quick fix fad. It's evolving, it's expanding, it's adapting, but it's here to stay because it's not just about food, it's about transformation. And transformation never goes out of style.